University of Athens, Professor Nikolaos Voulgaris.
Esteemed Minister of Health of the Hellenic Republic, esteemed Dean of the School of Health Sciences, esteemed Vice President of the Medical School of the National Kapodistrian University of Athens, dear members of the faculty of the National Kapodistrian University of Athens, dear members of the faculty of the 13th European Multidisciplinary Congress on Urological Cancers, EMUC 21. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all in the central hall of our university for the opening ceremony of your distinguished Congress. Scientific symposia are important parts of pre- and postgraduate education, and for this reason, our university welcomed the proposal of the Steering Committee of EMUC 21 to host the opening ceremony. Cancer is a well-known, even to non-medics, problem of public health. It affects many members of our society, their families, and the health system. In spite of the undoubted progress in the treatment of this terrible disease, still many of our fellow citizens suffer for many years of their lives. The impact of the disease on their quality of life is impossible to reflect in numbers. It also remains a major cause of death in the developed world and certainly in our country. There is, therefore, still a lot to be done. In this context, congresses like EMUC 21 represent the best way to discuss recent advances in their respective fields, but also design the next steps to further improve the therapies for patients suffering from cancer. Urological cancers include prostate cancer, which is not only medical, but also a public issue, with millions of men around the globe affected by it. It also rightly attracts the attention of media, patient advocates, social groups, and this interest is also reflected in the program of your Congress, which has dedicated considerable time to this disease, something easily detectable even by a non-medic like myself. It is also evident by the themes of the sessions of the Congress that many specialists from the medical field need to work together for optimal results, as the motto of the Congress states and the term multidisciplinary implies. It is an honor for Athens to host the Congress, which I am sure will be fruitful and productive and will fulfill its aims with great success. The honor is even greater if you consider the fact that such a popular Congress is again face-to-face, which is very important for the educational progress. Our university has a long tradition in the research and the treatment of urological cancer, a tradition founded originally by our ex-rector Konstantin Dimopoulos, professor of urology, and strengthened by the current director, Meletios Athanasios Dimopoulos, professor of therapeutics, oncology, and hematology. The presence here today of the faculty members of urology, medical oncology, and radiotherapy of our university underlines the continuing interest of our university in this group of cancers. Dear members of the EMUC 21 faculty, on behalf of our university, I would like to thank you for choosing Athens to host EMUC 21 this year, and I wish you every success in the activity of your Congress and a pleasant stay in Athens.
Welcome address by the alternate Minister of Health of the Greek government, Dr. Mina Gaga.
Good evening. Thank you for the invitation. And as you all know, cancer is a true pandemic with more deaths per year than the corona pandemic has caused so far. So it is very important to be able to screen, diagnose, and treat patients early so that there's better survival, but also better quality of life. And this is very important. Urinary tract cancers are very important. They cause a lot of morbidity, mortality, and they affect quality of life. So everything we do for our patients has a very, very big effect on each and every patient and the society and their families, everyone in the world. From the part of the Greek state, we're very committed to screening and also to introducing a fully digitized patient file with a special interest in cancer, with a digital also registry for cancers, helping the patient journey from suspicion to diagnosis, to treatment, to support. So with this, I will wish you every success to the meeting. And again, thank you for the invitation. Have a nice evening.
Welcome address by the Dean of the School of Health Science of the National Kapodistrian University of Athens, Professor Emmanuil Pikoulis.
Dear Minister of Health, dear Associate Director of Athens University, dear Vice President of Medical School of Athens, dear colleagues, dear international guests, dear friends, as Dean of the School of Health Science of the National Kapodistrian University of Athens, I would like to welcome you to the 13th European Multidisciplinary Congress of Urological Cancer and congratulate the organizers that managed to implement it in such challenging times. The group of urological cancers is diverse and includes so many entities with distinct features. They not only affect a very large proportion of the population, but also have a major impact on patients' quality of life and on healthcare services provision. Urological cancers are one of the best examples of the need for multidisciplinary approach. The emphasis is in prevention and, of course, in the personalized health and One Health approach. These elements can best be disseminated through educational activities such as this exemplary Congress. Under COVID-19, all types of cancer diagnosis treatment are challenged, and under pressure, benefit of care from treatment must be carefully weighed against the potential of infection and morbidity from COVID-19. This creates a new challenge for all of us, and I am eager to hear the latest developments. I am thus thrilled. We welcome you. I would like to congratulate the steering committee for their commitment to quality, and I am looking forward, just like all the attachment, to what this marvelous Congress offers. Thank you very much.
Welcome address by the Deputy Chairman of the Medical School of the National and Kapodistrian University of Athens, Professor Nikolaos Arkadopoulos.
Esteemed Minister of Health, esteemed Vice Rector of the University, esteemed Dean of the School of Health Sciences, esteemed Presidents of the Congress, dear colleagues, on behalf of the Medical School of the University of Athens, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all the participants of the 13th Multidisciplinary European Congress on Urological Cancer. And especially, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our international guests. The medical school is proud and honored to host in this Congress such a constellation of European experts. We recognize the very high educational value of this Congress, and we look forward to a very fruitful discussion in the Congress on prevention, diagnosis, and management of urological cancer with a special focus on precision medicine. We are also proud that Professor Aris Bamnias, one of our faculty at the medical school, is a president, one of the presidents of the Congress. Professor Bamnias has a very long contribution to the field of urological cancer in Greece. He is one of the pioneers in the field, and I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate him on his achievements and wish him well. Finally, I would like to express our pleasure that this Congress is held in person, so you will have the opportunity to enjoy the historical, vibrant, and safe city of Athens. Again, welcome and best wishes for a very successful Congress. Thank you.
Welcome address by the representative of the European Society of Medical Oncology, Professor Aristotelis Bamnias.
Esteemed Alternate Minister of Health of the Greek government, esteemed Vice Rector of the National and Kapodistria University of Athens, esteemed Dean of the School of Health Sciences of the National and Kapodistria University of Athens, esteemed Deputy Chairman of the Medical School of the National and Kapodistria University of Athens, dear professors, members of the faculty of the 13th European Multidisciplinary Congress on Urological Cancers, dear colleagues, dear friends. It's a great honor to address you during this opening ceremony of EMUC 21 on behalf of the European Society of Medical Oncology. ESMO has always been a major partner in the organization of EMUC congresses and was a major force, along with EAU and ESTRO, to make this EMUC happen in a face-to-face fashion. The commitment and the wise decisions of the officials of the three societies involved will certainly serve as a guide to dealing with similar difficult situations in the future. As a citizen of Athens and Greek medical oncologist, I feel privileged that Athens is hosting this Congress, which I'm sure that the entire urological cancer community, and especially our young colleagues, will use as a reference in the year to come. I therefore, on their behalf, would like to express my gratitude to EAU, ESMO, and ESTRO for giving us the opportunity to welcome you all in our city. I also want to thank the National Kapodistria University of Athens, and especially the rector, Professor Meletios Athanasios Dimopoulos, my mentor, who has been the most influential person in the progress in research and management of urogenital cancer in Greece. Unfortunately, commitments abroad did not allow him to be here with us today, but we are very grateful for his positive attitude for holding the opening ceremony in the main hall of our university in spite of our short notice. For the same reason, I want to thank Vice Rector Professor Voulgaris, Alternate Minister Dr. Gaga, Professor Pikoulis and Arkadopoulos for finding the time to be here with us today. I also want to thank the faculty members of Urology, Medical Oncology, and Radiotherapy of the University of Athens, whose presence underlined the close collaboration between the major disciplines involved in the management of urogenital cancer in order to achieve optimal results for our patients. I want to also thank the members of the second propedeutic department of internal medicine of our university for their support in the organization of this opening ceremony. More than anybody else, however, I feel grateful to you, distinguished guests, the faculty of EMUC 21, for being with us for the Congress and sharing with us this opening ceremony. Traveling to Athens has not been easy, I know. The pandemic is still here and will certainly be for some time. It still imposes difficulties to traveling. Our thoughts are with our friends who wish to be here with us and did not make it. We hope that we'll see them in person next year. These difficulties make your presence to Athens even more valuable. After a year without live EMUC, we can again talk to each other by looking at our friends' eyes, exchange our thoughts in person, relax, looking at Acropolis in the company of friends and colleagues. During the last 2 months, after the decision for a face-to-face meeting was finalized, I have witnessed great enthusiasm and anticipation from the entire Greek urological cancer community, and especially our young colleagues. Young colleagues who live their lives under very difficult circumstances, much more difficult than us. Your presence gives them something to hope for and aim for their future. For this reason, I thank you once more and I wish you a fruitful Congress and a pleasant stay in Athens.
Welcome address by the representative of the European Society for Radiotherapy and Oncology, Professor Peter Hodgkin.
Thank you. On behalf of the European Society for Radiotherapy and Oncology, ESTRO, I add my thanks to those that have already been put forward by Aris and other colleagues. Particular thanks to you, Minister, for hosting us in your beautiful country, despite the rain. And I think particular thanks also to Aris Bamias, who has really been the working force behind this meeting. Aris has great persistence and determination, and when many of us were ready to give in and go for a virtual meeting, it was Aris who pushed us forward, together with his colleagues from Athens, who convinced us this meeting could go ahead. And the evidence is before us. We have over 900 delegates here in Athens, and I think a very successful meeting ahead. So I think we should all be very grateful to Aris for pushing us forward on all the committees to make this happen. And we're gathered here in this conference as a unique collection of specialists. I think this is the only conference in the world where we truly gather together specialists from all specialties involved in the treatment of uro-oncology, not just the radiation oncologists, who I would put first, but also the medical oncologists and surgeons, the pathologists, the imaging specialists, and many others. And if you look at the boards on all the presentations, we have representations from all groups. And that is a unique opportunity for us to cross-fertilize our ideas, to understand each other's views, and to do this face-to-face is indeed a privilege. For many of us, for myself, it is the first face-to-face meeting for over 2 years, and indeed a great event. I think you'll agree today's been an excellent foretaste of the next 2 days, when we hope to have ongoing and ever more inspiring presentations and discussions between us. Finally, it would be wrong of me not to mention in our thanks Sabrina and the Congress consultants. Congress consultants have been following our ups and downs over the last 2 years, veering from virtual to face-to-face, to virtual to face-to-face, and you can imagine the organizational implications of that. And despite that, they've done it with good humor. They've managed to put it all together, and I think you'll agree, a seamless organization of the meeting today, and I'm sure over the next 2 days. So my thanks to be added to those to Sabrina. So thank you all very much for attending. We couldn't have the conference without you, and at one point we were worried that we had committed to face-to-face and wouldn't have anybody, but it's a delight to see so many, and on behalf of ESTRO, our gratitude to you all, both on the organizing committees and in the faculty. Thank you.
Opening lecture by the representative of the European Association of Urology, Professor Arnulf Stenzel.
Okay. Okay. Esteemed Minister of Health, esteemed Vice Rector, esteemed Dean and President of the Medical School. Sorry, I couldn't remember all your awards, but we are really honored to be here. My name is Arnulf Stenzel. I am Secretary General Adjunct for Science of the European Association of Urology, and on my free time, head of the Department of Urology at the University of Tübingen. What I just, being the last one here, you have been all been welcomed here. So I just, we agreed that I should talk a little bit about what is EMUC. Well, the first thing you might think about is that Australian bird. That Australian bird is not the actual origin of EMUC, although we do have people from Australia both presenting and participating. So, but let me show you a little bit why and when this EMUC started, that strange bird. It started actually in 2007, and it started in another country, another city, I'm sorry, yeah? But it was meant initially to bring together the oncologist, radio-oncologist, and the urologist. And it was in Barcelona, and it was the brainchild of Martin Wirth and Hein van Poppel. You will see him on the last row here with his mustache. Okay, thanks a lot, Hein. And you can see him here next to Per Anders Abrahamsson, the former General Secretary, again, who helped to bring that together. But it was not possible without the help and the willingness of the European Society of Medical Oncology, the European Society of Radio-Oncology, and at that time it was also ERRTC that participated in the first meeting. Just notice, actually, at that time, bladder cancer was not thought to be of importance. But that changed, and next year, again, it was 2009, 2 years later, and then 2011, 2 years later. At that time, probably there was not that much happening in GU oncology. But then, things changed, and then we had it every year. We had it not only in Barcelona, we had it in Marseille, we had it in Lisbon. That's probably why we have such a strong group of delegates from Portugal this year. And then we had it later on it was in Amsterdam, and then it was in Milan, and then it came to Amsterdam again. Anyhow, it was like all over Europe. It was Budapest again. Sorry, Amsterdam came later on. So it was every year that we were meeting, and we were meeting in increasing numbers, and it was in increasing numbers of all specialties that came here. And as Peter was already mentioning, it's not only the three societies, it's the radiologists, it's the nuclear medicine specialists, it is the pathologist, It is a huge amount of people in different specialties that really come here to convene and help patients to get a better life, better earlier diagnosis, better life, a better treatment in their GU cancers. And then Vienna, and then came 2020. And that is when we had the disaster of the pandemic. And Minister of Health, you already talked about it. It's the problem, and we could see, of course, we cannot be here face to face, but it was the dedication and the stubbornness of Professor Aristoteles Bamias that made a virtual meeting in 2020, but persisted on having a face-to-face meeting in 2021. You are the longest president of EMUC now, and you have had everything, virtual and physical. And we are really, really thankful for you that you were able to make that possible. Let me just show you a little bit what the meeting is about. You know, like the EMUs, we like to listen. We like to listen to the different specialties, to their discussions, because discussions are important. And you can see here, Peter Hoskin, over 10 years, nothing changed. You look the same, without a mask, a little longer beard. And there are others here in the group. And then, you know, you have Maria De Santis here, Walter Adibani, and Alberto Bossi, you know, and they have all really made nice discussions. We have to think about that, what nice and excellent discussions and outcome we had. We also embraced the patients, which is so important. We are actually, our main goal are the patients, and we have included them in recent years. But you know, we also like to chat, and we also like to have a little fun. And you can see here, you know, we don't have any problems with gender. There's no problem with gender. There's, as you can see here, Manuela Schmiedinger, Eva Comperat, Cora Sternberg, Maria De Santis. I mean, this is, the majority is now our female doctors, and we have also no problem with diversity. Although I don't know what James Endow was doing here, because Silke Gillison doesn't look very amused. But at least there's a lot of fun. The former chairman from the urology side here, George Thalmann with Laurie Klotz and Chris Evans, they're probably talking about banking details because they're so happy. And then we had, of course, the pathologist embracing, which we thought was also very, very important, get the different specialties. And again, Peter, you mentioned it already, all this would not be possible with the help of the office, the consultants, the Congress consultants. There is, for example, Jaka Bloomberg. She's always, you know, trying to get the results of the meeting to the general population, to the possible patients, and that is her thing. And then, of course, you always need someone to pinch the delegates, the moderators, and that is Sabrina von Scherpenzell. You've all got those mails, you know, there's a deadline and you have to really bring things in. So we're really thankful, but we're also very thankful to the scientific committee. And you can see here, there's a huge scientific committee every year that is putting together the program. And that is really why it's so a success. That is because of their work and their dedication. And so we are happy to have this meeting, the only multidisciplinary genital urinary cancer meeting in Europe. Enjoy it, have fun, and also think we are doing this for our patients. Thank you very much.
This concludes the opening ceremony.